Success begins the moment you stop treating your life like something that can wait. Look around at your life for a second. Are you really giving your goals the attention they deserve? Or have you been telling yourself that you will get serious someday? Most people do not lose because they are weak. They lose because they keep putting themselves last. They take everyone else's needs seriously. They take other people's opinions seriously. But when it comes to their own future, their own dreams, and their own potential, they keep delaying, doubting, and waiting. The truth is simple. The day you start taking yourself seriously, everything starts to change. Your choices change. Your habits change. Your standards change. The way you see yourself changes. In this video, you will learn why so many people stay stuck for years, why they keep breaking promises to themselves, and how successful people think differently. More importantly, you will discover what happens when you finally decide that your future is too important to ignore. Because success does not begin when you get lucky. It begins when you decide that your life matters enough to take seriously. Chapter 1. Stop putting your own life on hold. One of the biggest reasons people stay stuck is not a lack of talent. It is not a lack of opportunity. It is not even a lack of intelligence. The real problem is that many people keep putting their own life on hold. They keep waiting for the perfect time. They keep telling themselves that they will start next month, next year, or when conditions improve. While they are waiting, life keeps moving. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into years. Before they know it, they are standing in the same place, wondering why nothing has changed. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously. That means you stop treating your dreams like a hobby. You stop treating your future like something that can wait forever. You stop acting as if there is always another chance coming. There may be another chance, but there is no guarantee. The opportunity you ignore today may not look the same tomorrow. Think about how many promises you have made to yourself. Maybe you promised to get healthier. Maybe you promised to start a business. Maybe you promised to learn a skill, improve your finances, read more books, or become more disciplined. The question is not whether you made those promises. The question is whether you honored them. Every time you break a promise to yourself, something important happens inside you. Your confidence becomes weaker. Your trust in yourself becomes weaker. You begin to doubt your own words. A person who does not trust himself will struggle to build a great future. Why? Because every goal requires commitment. Every dream requires action. Every improvement requires consistency. If you cannot trust yourself to do what you said you would do, then progress becomes difficult. Many people spend years waiting for motivation. They wake up and ask themselves if they feel ready. They ask if they feel inspired. They ask if they feel confident. Successful people ask a different question. They ask what needs to be done, then they do it whether they feel like it or not. There is a powerful shift that happens when you stop putting your life on hold. You begin to see yourself differently. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes things get better. You start seeing yourself as someone who makes things better. That change in identity is important. Your future depends on how you see yourself today. Imagine waking up every morning knowing that your actions matter. Imagine knowing that every hour has value. Imagine looking at your goals and saying, "These goals deserve my effort today." That kind of thinking creates momentum. It creates confidence. It creates self-respect. Many people are waiting for somebody to believe in them. They are waiting for encouragement. They are waiting for support. Those things are wonderful when they arrive, but your life cannot stay paused while you wait. Your growth cannot depend on someone else's approval. The person who must believe in your future first is you. There comes a moment when you must decide that your life is important enough to take seriously, not tomorrow, not when everything becomes easy. Today. The day you make that decision is the day things begin to change. The truth is that nobody accidentally creates a better life. Better health requires action. Better finances require action. Better relationships require action. Better habits require action. Growth is not something that happens while you sit and wait. Growth happens while you move. Growth happens while you make difficult choices. Growth happens while you stay committed, even when results are not immediate. Many people quit because they do not see progress quickly enough. They work for a few days and become discouraged. They work for a few weeks and start doubting themselves. But success often comes after long periods of effort that nobody notices. The person who wins is often the person who stays in the game longer. Think about the areas of your life that need attention right now. Maybe there is a goal you keep postponing. Maybe there is a conversation you need to have. Maybe there is a habit that is hurting your future. Deep down, you probably already know what needs to change. The challenge is not a lack of knowledge. The challenge is making the decision to act. When you start taking yourself seriously, you stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop giving yourself endless reasons to delay. You stop telling yourself stories about why now is not the right time. You begin to understand that waiting is often more painful than working. Years from now, you will either be grateful that you started today or disappointed that you kept postponing your own future. That choice is being made right now through your daily actions. Every day you have an opportunity to send yourself a message. When you take action, you send the message that your goals matter. When you stay disciplined, you send the message that your future matters. When you follow through on your commitments, you send the message that you matter. Never underestimate the power of keeping your word to yourself. It may seem small at first. Waking up when you planned to wake up, finishing what you started, showing up when nobody is watching. These actions build something valuable. They build self-respect, and self-respect changes everything. The day you stop putting your own life on hold is the day you stop being a spectator in your own future. It is the day you stop waiting for permission. It is the day you stop hoping that circumstances will save you. It is the day you decide that your dreams deserve action and your future deserves effort. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously. It begins when you realize that your time matters. Your choices matter, your habits matter, your future matters. The person you become over the next few years will be shaped by the decisions you make today. Make the decision to move forward. Make the decision to act. Make the decision to stop putting your life on hold. Because the life you want is not waiting somewhere in the future. It starts the moment you decide that you are finally worth the effort. Chapter 2. Start taking your dreams more seriously. There is something interesting about dreams. Almost everyone has them. People dream about building a better future. They dream about becoming financially free. They dream about improving their health. They dream about creating meaningful work. They dream about becoming stronger, wiser, and more confident. Yet very few people ever reach the level they imagine. The reason is not always a lack of ability. More often it is because they never take their dreams seriously enough. Many people treat their dreams like entertainment. They think about them when they feel inspired. They talk about them when they are excited. They imagine what life could look like if everything worked out perfectly. Then they go back to the same routine that keeps them exactly where they are. Days pass, months pass. The dream stays alive in their mind, but it never becomes real in their life. A dream deserves more than your attention. It deserves your commitment. There is a difference between wishing for something and deciding that it matters. A wish asks for results without responsibility. A decision creates responsibility. The moment you decide that a dream truly matters, your behavior begins to change. You start making choices that support it. You start protecting time for it. You start giving it energy instead of excuses. Many people underestimate the power of taking their own ambitions seriously. They speak about their goals as if they are optional. They say things like, maybe someday. They say, I will try. They say, I hope it works out. Those words reveal uncertainty. They reveal hesitation. They reveal a person who has not fully committed to what they want. Your future is influenced by the standards you set for yourself. If your dream is important, your daily actions should reflect that importance. Imagine someone telling you that becoming healthier matters to them, but they never make time to exercise, never improve their eating habits, and never take care of themselves. Their actions tell the truth. The same principle applies to every goal in life. The challenge is that taking your dreams seriously often requires sacrifice. It requires saying no to distractions. It requires working when you would rather relax. It requires patience when results are slow. Most people enjoy the idea of success. Fewer people enjoy the process that creates it. But success is built through the process, not through the desire alone. One of the greatest mistakes people make is waiting until they feel completely confident before taking action. Confidence rarely comes first. Action comes first. Progress comes first. Experience comes first. Confidence is often the result of proving to yourself that you can handle challenges. It grows when you keep moving forward despite uncertainty. Think about the dreams you have carried for years. Some of them may still be sitting in the same place they were years ago, not because they were impossible, but because they were never given enough attention. A dream cannot grow if it is constantly postponed. It cannot become reality if it remains trapped inside your imagination. There comes a point when you must stop treating your goals like distant possibilities and start treating them like real priorities. That means giving them a place in your schedule. It means learning new skills. It means preparing yourself for opportunities before they arrive. Serious people prepare long before anyone notices their progress. Many individuals spend years talking themselves out of their own potential. They focus on what could go wrong. They focus on mistakes from the past. They focus on limitations instead of possibilities. The mind will always find reasons to stay comfortable. Growth requires challenging those reasons and choosing a better direction. A dream becomes powerful when it influences your decisions. It changes how you spend your evenings. It changes how you use your weekends. It changes the conversations you have and the habits you develop. When a dream becomes part of your identity, it stops being something you want and starts becoming something you are working toward every day. There is also another important truth. Nobody will care about your dream more than you do. Friends may encourage you, family may support you, mentors may guide you, but at the end of the day, the responsibility belongs to you. You are the one who must stay focused when nobody is watching. You are the one who must keep going when progress feels slow. You are the one who must decide that your future is worth the effort. Many people allow temporary feelings to control permanent goals. They feel tired and stop. They feel discouraged and quit. They feel uncertain and hesitate. Feelings change constantly. Dreams require something stronger than feelings. They require commitment. Commitment keeps moving, even when emotions fluctuate. When you begin taking your dreams seriously, something changes inside you. You stop looking for shortcuts. You stop searching for easy answers. You begin understanding that meaningful success is built one decision at a time. You become more intentional with your time. You become more careful about the habits you allow into your life. You become more focused on growth than on comfort. Every achievement starts with a decision that something is important enough to pursue. Not someday. Not when circumstances become perfect. Right now. The people who build remarkable lives are not always the most talented. They are often the people who decide that their goals deserve consistent effort. They refuse to treat their dreams as passing thoughts. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously, and one of the clearest signs that you are taking yourself seriously is that you begin taking your dreams seriously too. You stop talking about what you might do and start working on what you will do. You stop making your future an afterthought. You make it a priority. Every meaningful change starts there. The dream that keeps returning to your mind may be there for a reason. The goal that continues to excite you may be pointing toward a better version of yourself. Do not ignore it. Do not keep pushing it into the future. Give it your attention. Give it your effort. Give it your discipline. A dream backed by daily action has the power to transform an ordinary life into something extraordinary. The decision begins with you. The time to take it seriously is now. Chapter 3. Quit acting like you have forever. One of the most dangerous habits a person can develop is living as if there will always be more time. Many people wake up each morning believing they can delay their goals for another day, postpone important decisions for another month, or push meaningful changes into another year. They act as though opportunities will always be available and energy will always be there waiting for them. But life does not work that way. Time keeps moving whether you are prepared or not. The clock does not slow down because you are uncertain. It does not pause because you are afraid. It continues forward, and every day that passes becomes a day you can never get back. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously, and one of the clearest signs that you are finally taking yourself seriously is when you stop acting like you have forever. The moment you understand that your time is limited, your perspective changes. You begin to see each day differently. You stop treating hours carelessly. You stop wasting entire weeks on things that add no value to your future. You start paying attention to where your life is actually going. Many people say they want success, but their actions tell a different story. They spend years preparing to begin instead of beginning. They keep waiting until they feel completely ready. They tell themselves they will start after one more vacation, one more holiday, one more busy season, or one more problem is solved. Yet there is always another reason to wait. There is always another excuse available for anyone who wants one. The truth is that life rewards movement, not endless preparation. There is a time for planning, but there is also a time for action. Some people spend so much time thinking about what they want that they never build it. They spend so much time talking about change that they never experience it. Dreams remain dreams because they never become priorities. Think about the goals that matter most to you right now. Maybe it is improving your health. Maybe it is building financial security. Maybe it is learning a new skill, starting a business, improving relationships, or creating a future that looks different from your present. Now ask yourself a difficult question. If nothing changes over the next 5 years, will you be satisfied with where you end up? For many people, the honest answer is no, yet their daily actions continue to lead them toward that exact future. One reason people delay action is because consequences often arrive slowly. If you waste a single day, nothing dramatic happens. If you avoid a workout, the mirror does not change overnight. If you ignore your finances for a month, disaster may not appear immediately. Because the results are delayed, people become comfortable postponing responsibility. What they fail to realize is that small choices accumulate. The future is built quietly through daily decisions. Years later, people often look back and wonder where the time went. They remember goals they once felt excited about. They remember plans they intended to pursue. They remember opportunities they thought they would eventually take advantage of. Regret rarely comes from trying and failing. More often, regret comes from knowing you could have started, but chose not to. There is something powerful about understanding that life is moving forward right now. While you are thinking about taking action, someone else is already doing it. While you are debating whether you should start, someone else is learning, improving, growing, and creating momentum. Progress belongs to people who are willing to move before they feel completely comfortable. Many individuals underestimate how quickly years pass. When people are young, a year feels long. As they grow older, they realize how quickly time disappears. Seasons change, birthdays arrive, calendars fill up. Before they know it, another year is gone. The question is not whether time will pass. The question is what you will do with it. Taking yourself seriously means understanding that every day carries value. It means recognizing that your future is being shaped by what you do today. Not next month, not next year, today. The books you read matter. The habits you practice matter. The conversations you have matter. The decisions you make matter. Everything is contributing to the direction of your life. Many people are waiting for a perfect moment that does not exist. Conditions are rarely perfect. Circumstances are rarely ideal. Challenges are part of life. There will always be reasons why starting feels difficult. The successful person learns to move forward despite those reasons. They understand that action creates clarity. They understand that progress often begins before confidence arrives. One of the greatest shifts you can make is replacing the question, "What if I fail?" with the question, "What happens if I never try?" That second question creates urgency. It forces you to confront reality. It reminds you that avoiding action has a cost. Every opportunity ignored creates a different future. Every goal postponed creates distance between who you are and who you could become. Your future deserves more than good intentions. It deserves effort. It deserves discipline. It deserves attention. You cannot build a meaningful life through occasional bursts of motivation. You build it through consistent decisions made over time. Small improvements practiced daily eventually become significant changes. There are people who spend decades waiting for certainty. They wait until they feel fearless. They wait until every doubt disappears. They wait until they receive approval from everyone around them. In many cases, that moment never comes. Life rewards those who are willing to take responsible action, even while uncertainty exists. Imagine what could happen if you treated this year as important. Imagine what could happen if you stopped assuming there would always be another chance. Imagine approaching each week with purpose instead of delay. Imagine giving serious attention to the goals that matter most. That shift alone could change the direction of your entire future. The reality is simple. You do not have unlimited time. None of us do. That truth is not meant to create fear. It is meant to create focus. It is meant to remind you that your life matters. Your goals matter. Your growth matters. The days in front of you are valuable, and how you use them will determine where you stand years from now. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously. It begins when you stop treating time as something that can always be replaced. It begins when you stop assuming tomorrow will automatically provide another opportunity. It begins when you decide that your future is important enough to deserve action today. The life you want is not built someday. It is built one day at a time, and that process starts the moment you stop acting like you have forever. Chapter 4. Take responsibility for where you are. There comes a moment in every person's life when they must make a choice. They can continue finding reasons why their situation is the way it is, or they can accept responsibility for changing it. That moment is not always comfortable. In fact, it can be one of the most difficult moments a person experiences, but it is also one of the most powerful. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously, and taking yourself seriously means being honest about where you are today. Many people spend years blaming something for their lack of progress. Some blame their past. Others blame their family, their boss, their lack of money, their lack of education, their age, their circumstances, or bad luck. Certainly, life is not always fair. Some people begin with advantages, others face challenges they never asked for. Difficult situations are real, obstacles are real, disappointments are real. But there is a difference between recognizing a challenge and allowing it to control the rest of your life. One of the most important lessons you can learn is that responsibility gives you power. Blame takes power away. When you blame everything outside yourself, you place your future in someone else's hands. When you accept responsibility, you take your future back. That does not mean everything that happened to you was your fault. It means you are choosing to become responsible for what happens next. Think about how many people stay trapped because they spend all their energy explaining their situation instead of improving it. They know every reason they are struggling. They can describe every problem in detail. They can tell you who disappointed them and who treated them unfairly. Yet despite all that knowledge, their life remains the same because awareness without action changes nothing. A person who takes responsibility asks different questions. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask, "What can I do about it?" Instead of focusing on what they cannot control, they focus on what they can influence. That shift changes everything. It creates movement, it creates growth, it creates possibility. Many people want a better life, but they do not want the discomfort that often comes with change. They want different results while continuing the same habits. They want improvement without adjustment. Unfortunately, life does not operate that way. New outcomes require new behaviors. Progress requires a willingness to examine your choices honestly. If your finances are not where you want them to be, responsibility means learning better financial habits. If your health is suffering, responsibility means making changes that support your well-being. If your skills are outdated, responsibility means investing time in learning and growth. The solution may not be easy, but the first step is accepting ownership. One reason people resist responsibility is because it forces them to confront reality. Reality can be uncomfortable. It may reveal wasted opportunities. It may expose poor decisions. It may highlight habits that have quietly limited growth for years, yet avoiding reality never improves it. Ignoring a problem does not solve it. Looking away does not make it disappear. The strongest individuals develop the courage to face the truth about their lives. They look honestly at their strengths and weaknesses. They recognize what is working and what is not. They stop pretending that circumstances alone determine their future. They understand that personal growth begins with personal honesty. Responsibility is not about guilt. It is not about punishing yourself for mistakes. Everyone has made decisions they regret. Everyone has experienced moments they wish they could change. The purpose of responsibility is not to stay trapped in the past. The purpose is to learn from it and move forward with greater wisdom. Some people spend years carrying regret. They replay old failures. They revisit old disappointments. They continue judging themselves for choices made long ago. But responsibility is different from regret. Responsibility asks, what lesson can I take from this experience? It transforms mistakes into education. It turns setbacks into preparation for better decisions. When you begin taking ownership of your life, you stop waiting for rescue. You stop hoping someone else will fix your situation. You stop expecting external circumstances to create internal change. You recognize that lasting improvement starts with the choices you make every day. This mindset creates confidence because confidence grows when you prove to yourself that you can handle challenges. Each time you solve a problem, instead of avoiding it, you become stronger. Each time you face a difficult situation with maturity, you build character. Each time you choose action over excuses, you reinforce self-respect. Many people underestimate how much control they actually have. They focus so much on what they cannot change that they overlook what is within their reach. They cannot change yesterday, but they can influence today. They cannot rewrite the past, but they can create a better future. They cannot control every event, but they can control how they respond. The quality of your life is often connected to the quality of your decisions. Small decisions matter. The books you read matter. The habits you practice matter. The people you spend time with matter. The standards you set matter. These choices may seem insignificant on any single day, but over time they shape your direction. There is a powerful sense of freedom that comes from accepting responsibility. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstances. You stop feeling helpless. You begin to understand that while life may present challenges, you still have the ability to respond with courage, discipline, and determination. Growth becomes possible because you are no longer trapped by blame. Energy that was once spent complaining can now be invested in improvement. Attention that was once focused on problems can now be directed towards solutions. This shift creates momentum, and momentum creates results. Successful people are not perfect people. They are not individuals who have avoided mistakes. They are often people who learned to take responsibility quickly. They acknowledge errors. They learn lessons. They adjust their approach. Then they continue moving forward. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously. It begins when you stop making excuses for where you are and start taking ownership of where you are going. It begins when you stop allowing circumstances to define your future. It begins when you recognize that your choices carry tremendous power. The life you want will not be built through blame. It will not be created through complaints. It will not appear through wishful thinking. It will be built through responsibility, action, learning, and growth. The moment you accept responsibility for your direction, you place yourself back in control. That decision may feel difficult at first, but it is one of the most important decisions you will ever make. Because the day you take responsibility for your life is the day you begin creating a future that truly belongs to you. Chapter 5. Stop waiting for someone to save you. One of the most important turning points in life happens when a person realizes that nobody is coming to build their future for them. That realization can feel uncomfortable at first because many people spend years hoping that something outside themselves will change everything. They wait for the perfect opportunity. They wait for the right connection. They wait for someone to recognize their potential. They wait for circumstances to improve. They wait for life to become easier. While they are waiting, valuable time continues to pass. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously, and taking yourself seriously means understanding that your future cannot depend on someone else stepping in and doing the work for you. Guidance can help. Encouragement can help. Support can help. But no amount of support can replace personal responsibility. At some point, every person must decide that they are willing to carry the weight of their own growth. Many people believe their life will improve when they finally meet the right person, get the right opportunity, receive enough money, or find someone who believes in them. Those things may be beneficial, but they are not the foundation of lasting success. The foundation is built when you decide to become responsible for your own direction, regardless of what others do. Think about how often people postpone progress because they are waiting for permission. They want someone to tell them they are ready. They want someone to guarantee success before they begin. They want reassurance that every risk will work out perfectly. Unfortunately, life rarely provides those guarantees. The people who move forward are often those who act despite uncertainty. There is a dangerous habit that quietly keeps many individuals stuck. It is the habit of depending too heavily on outside forces for internal change. Some people believe a new relationship will solve their lack of confidence. Others believe a promotion will solve their lack of discipline. Some think a different environment will automatically fix habits that have followed them for years. What they eventually discover is that lasting change begins from within. A new opportunity cannot create commitment. A mentor cannot create discipline. A friend cannot create self-respect. These qualities must be developed personally. They grow through daily decisions, repeated effort, and a willingness to face challenges directly. One reason people wait for rescue is because responsibility can feel overwhelming. It is easier to believe someone else will provide the answer. It is easier to imagine that one event will suddenly transform everything. But meaningful growth is usually much less dramatic. It happens through consistent effort. It happens through small improvements repeated over time. It happens when ordinary days are used wisely. The moment you stop waiting for someone to save you, you begin seeing yourself differently. You stop viewing yourself as a passive participant in your own story. You start viewing yourself as the person responsible for writing the next chapter. That shift creates confidence, because confidence is built when you learn that you can rely on yourself. Many people underestimate their own ability to adapt. They have survived difficult situations before. They have overcome challenges before. They have learned new skills before. Yet when facing a new obstacle, they sometimes forget their own strength. They begin looking outside themselves for answers that can only be developed within. Personal growth often begins when you stop asking who will help you and start asking what you can do next. That question immediately creates movement. It directs your attention toward action instead of dependency. It encourages problem solving instead of waiting. Consider the people you admire most. Chances are they faced setbacks, disappointments, and moments of uncertainty. What made them different was not the absence of difficulty. What made them different was their willingness to keep moving forward, even when nobody was carrying them. They developed resilience because they learned to trust their own ability to respond. Life does not always provide ideal conditions. Sometimes support is limited. Sometimes encouragement is absent. Sometimes nobody notices your efforts. Those moments reveal character. They reveal whether you are committed to your goals because they matter to you or because other people are watching. One of the greatest forms of maturity is learning how to motivate yourself. It means taking action without constant reminders. It means following through on commitments without needing external pressure. It means choosing growth because you value your future enough to invest in it consistently. There will always be people willing to offer advice. Some advice will be useful, some advice will not. The responsibility for choosing your path remains yours. Nobody else can make your decisions. Nobody else can develop your habits. Nobody else can create your future. Those responsibilities belong to you. This understanding should not discourage you. It should empower you. When you realize that your progress is connected to your choices, you stop feeling helpless. You recognize that improvement is available to anyone willing to work for it. You begin focusing on actions that move your life forward instead of circumstances you cannot control. Every day presents opportunities to strengthen yourself. You can learn something new. You can improve a skill. You can make a healthier choice. You can practice discipline. You can become slightly better than you were yesterday. These improvements may seem small individually, but they create powerful results over time. Many people spend years searching for a breakthrough while overlooking the value of consistency. They hope for a dramatic solution when what they really need is daily effort. Progress often looks ordinary while it is happening. Only later do people realize how much those small actions mattered. The truth is that nobody can want your success more than you do. Nobody can care about your future more than you do. Other people may encourage you, support you, and celebrate your victories, but they cannot replace your commitment. The responsibility for growth always returns to the person looking back at you in the mirror. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously. It begins when you stop waiting for rescue and start building. It begins when you stop depending on perfect circumstances and start using the circumstances you have. It begins when you decide that your future deserves effort, regardless of whether anyone else notices. There is tremendous freedom in understanding that you do not need someone to save you. You need courage. You need discipline. You need persistence. You need a willingness to keep moving forward even when progress feels slow. The strength you have been looking for is developed through action. The confidence you have been searching for is earned through experience. The future you want becomes possible when you stop waiting and start creating. That decision changes everything because it places the power back where it belongs, in your own hands. Chapter 6. Start showing respect for your future. One of the clearest signs that a person is taking themselves seriously is that they begin thinking beyond today. They stop making decisions based only on what feels good in the moment and start considering the consequences those decisions will have months and years from now. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously, and one of the most important ways to do that is by showing respect for your future. Many people say they care about their future, but their daily behavior tells a different story. They spend money carelessly while worrying about financial security. They neglect their health while hoping for a better quality of life. They waste valuable hours while dreaming about bigger achievements. There is often a gap between what people say they want and what they are actually preparing for. Respect is not something expressed only through words. Respect is shown through actions. If you truly respect your future, you will make choices today that support it. You will think carefully about how you spend your time. You will pay attention to your habits. You will become more intentional about the direction of your life. Imagine meeting the version of yourself 5 years from now. Imagine sitting across from that future person and having a conversation. What would they thank you for? What choices would they appreciate? What sacrifices would they be grateful you made? At the same time, what disappointments would they point out? What opportunities would they wish you had taken? These are powerful questions because they help shift your attention toward long-term thinking. Many people live as if their future self is a stranger. They make decisions without considering the consequences that someone else will eventually have to deal with. They create problems that their future self must solve. They delay important responsibilities and pass the burden forward. Respecting your future means recognizing that the person you become tomorrow is directly connected to the choices you make today. One of the reasons people struggle to show respect for their future is because immediate comfort often feels more attractive than long-term rewards. The benefits of discipline are not always visible right away. The rewards of learning a new skill may take months to appear. The results of saving money may take years to become significant. Because the payoff is delayed, many people lose focus and return to habits that provide instant satisfaction. The challenge is that short-term comfort often creates long-term difficulty. On the other hand, short-term discipline frequently creates long-term freedom. The person who understands this principle gains a tremendous advantage. They stop asking what feels easiest right now and start asking what will benefit them later. Your future is being shaped every single day. Every choice matters. Every habit matters. Every decision contributes to a larger picture. The books you read influence your thinking. The information you consume influences your mindset. The people you spend time with influence your standards. These influences accumulate over time and eventually become visible in the quality of your life. Many individuals underestimate the power of preparation. They wait until a challenge arrives before developing the skills needed to handle it. They wait until financial problems appear before learning about money. They wait until health issues emerge before taking care of their body. They wait until opportunities arrive before building the abilities required to seize them. Successful people often prepare long before they need to. Showing respect for your future means becoming proactive instead of reactive. It means making decisions before circumstances force you to make them. It means strengthening yourself before difficulties appear. It means preparing for opportunities before they arrive. There is something deeply empowering about knowing you are investing in your future every day. Each positive choice becomes a vote for the person you want to become. Every hour spent learning creates value. Every healthy habit strengthens your foundation. Every responsible decision increases your ability to create the life you desire. This process does not require perfection. No one makes perfect decisions all the time. No one follows every plan flawlessly. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. Respecting your future means consistently moving in the right direction, even when mistakes occur along the way. Many people become discouraged because they expect immediate transformation. They want dramatic results after a short period of effort. When those results fail to appear quickly, they lose motivation. What they fail to understand is that meaningful growth is often invisible at first. The roots of progress develop before the results become visible. Patience is required. Think about the skills you admire in other people: confidence, leadership, discipline, knowledge, financial wisdom, emotional strength. None of these qualities appear overnight. They are developed gradually through repeated actions. The person who possesses them today likely spent years preparing for the success others now see. Respecting your future requires faith in the value of consistent effort. It requires believing that today's actions matter even when immediate rewards are absent. It requires understanding that progress is often happening beneath the surface before it becomes visible to others. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is a better future. Not through luck, not through chance, through preparation, through discipline, through thoughtful choices made over time. Every improvement you make today becomes a resource your future self can rely on. There are people who spend years creating difficulties for their future. They ignore responsibilities, avoid growth, and postpone important decisions. Then there are people who spend years creating opportunities for their future. They learn, they prepare, they improve, they invest in themselves. The difference between these two paths becomes increasingly obvious as time passes. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously. It begins when you stop treating your future as something distant and start treating it as something important. It begins when you recognize that your future deserves your attention today. It begins when you decide that the person you will become tomorrow matters enough to influence the choices you make right now. Your future is not being built someday. It is being built this week, this day, and this moment. Every action is contributing to the life you are creating. Show respect for that future. Protect it with wise decisions. Strengthen it with good habits. Support it with learning and growth. The person you become years from now will live with the results of what you choose today. Give that future version of yourself every possible reason to be grateful for the decisions you make starting now. Chapter 7. Refuse to waste another year. Stuck. There is a question every person should ask themselves from time to time. If nothing changes in my life over the next 12 months, will I be satisfied with where I end up? It is a simple question, but it forces honesty. It removes excuses. It removes wishful thinking. It brings your attention back to reality. Many people avoid this question because deep down they already know the answer. They know they have been standing in the same place for too long. They know they have been postponing important changes. They know they have been talking about goals more than they have been working on them. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously, and one of the strongest decisions you can make is refusing to waste another year stuck. Not another month, not another season. Not another year watching life move forward while you remain in the same patterns that have held you back. Many people become comfortable with frustration. They complain about their situation but never challenge it. They become familiar with disappointment because it has been part of their life for so long. Eventually, they stop expecting more from themselves. They lower their standards and convince themselves that things will somehow improve on their own. The truth is that staying stuck is rarely caused by one major problem. More often, it happens because of small decisions repeated over time. It happens when people continue delaying important actions. It happens when they choose comfort instead of growth day after day. It happens when they stop believing that meaningful change is possible. 1 year may seem like a long time, but it passes faster than most people realize. Think about how quickly the last year disappeared. Think about how many plans you had at the beginning of it. Think about how many things you wanted to accomplish. Some goals may have moved forward, others may still be waiting for your attention. Time has a way of revealing whether intentions are supported by action. Many individuals enter a new year filled with excitement. They make promises to themselves. They set goals. They feel motivated. Then daily life begins to pull them back into old habits. The excitement fades. The goals become distant. Before long, they are repeating the same cycle they have experienced many times before. The problem is not a lack of desire. Most people genuinely want a better future. The problem is that desire alone does not create change. Change requires commitment. It requires making decisions that align with the future you want, rather than the comfort you currently have. Being stuck is frustrating because it creates a gap between your potential and your reality. Deep inside, you know you are capable of more. You know there are abilities you have not developed. You know there are opportunities you have not pursued. You know there are goals you continue postponing. That awareness creates tension. It creates a feeling that something needs to change. The good news is that progress does not require a complete transformation overnight. Many people feel overwhelmed because they believe they must change everything at once. That belief often leads to inaction. Real improvement usually begins with one decision, one new habit, one new standard, one commitment that is honored consistently. Imagine where you could be a year from now if you improved just a little each day. Imagine the skills you could develop. Imagine the confidence you could build. Imagine the financial progress you could make. Imagine the strength you could create mentally, emotionally, and physically. Small improvements may not seem dramatic in the moment, but they become powerful when given enough time. One reason people remain stuck is because they focus too much on what they have not done. They spend so much energy criticizing themselves that they lose sight of what they can still accomplish. Regret has a way of keeping attention locked on the past. Growth requires attention to the present. You cannot change what happened last year. You cannot recover opportunities that have already passed. You cannot rewrite old mistakes. What you can do is decide that those experiences will not control the rest of your life. You can learn from them. You can become wiser because of them. You can use them as fuel for better decisions moving forward. Many successful people have experienced periods where they felt trapped. They faced setbacks. They experienced failure. They encountered uncertainty. What separated them from others was not the absence of difficulty. It was their refusal to remain in the same place. They kept learning. They kept adjusting. They kept moving. Movement is important because momentum creates energy. When you take action, even small action, you begin to feel different. You start seeing possibilities instead of obstacles. You start noticing opportunities instead of limitations. Progress creates belief, and belief strengthens effort. There is also a psychological shift that happens when you raise your standards. Instead of asking what is easy, you start asking what is necessary. Instead of settling for excuses, you expect more from yourself. Instead of accepting average effort, you become intentional about your growth. Higher standards often lead to better outcomes because they influence daily behavior. Think about the areas of life where you feel dissatisfied. Perhaps it is your career, perhaps it is your finances, perhaps it is your health or personal development. The answer is not to become discouraged. The answer is to become committed. Discouragement focuses on what is wrong. Commitment focuses on what can be improved. Another year can pass very quickly. The question is whether that year will look different from the one before it. The answer depends on the decisions you make starting now, not someday in the future, not when circumstances become easier, right now. Every day gives you an opportunity to move closer to the life you want. Every day allows you to practice discipline. Every day allows you to learn, improve, and grow. Those opportunities may seem ordinary, but they are incredibly valuable. They are the building blocks of transformation. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously. It begins when you stop accepting stagnation as normal. It begins when you stop making peace with unrealized potential. It begins when you decide that your future deserves better than another year of waiting. Refuse to spend another year watching the same problems repeat themselves. Refuse to spend another year talking about goals without pursuing them. Refuse to spend another year underestimating what you are capable of becoming. Make the decision to move. Make the decision to grow. Make the decision to challenge yourself. 1 year from now, the person you become will be shaped by what you choose to do today. That future is being created right now, and it is far too valuable to leave unchanged. Chapter 8. Take your daily choices more seriously. One of the biggest misunderstandings about success is the belief that it is created by a few major decisions. People often imagine that one opportunity, one breakthrough, or one important moment will completely change their life. While big moments can certainly matter, most lives are shaped by something much smaller and much more common. They are shaped by daily choices. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously, and taking yourself seriously means paying close attention to the decisions you make every single day. Most people do not wake up intending to create problems for their future. They do not plan to become less healthy, less disciplined, less productive, or less successful. Yet many unknowingly move in that direction through repeated choices that seem harmless in the moment. 1 extra hour wasted, 1 important task postponed, 1 opportunity ignored, 1 promise broken. Individually, these choices may appear insignificant. Over time, they become powerful. Life is often determined by accumulation. Small actions repeated consistently create patterns. Patterns become habits. Habits shape character. Character influences outcomes. This process happens quietly. It happens whether you are paying attention or not. That is why daily choices deserve far more respect than most people give them. Think about how a typical day unfolds. From the moment you wake up, You begin making decisions. You choose how to spend your first hour. You choose what information enters your mind. You choose how you respond to challenges. You choose whether you move closer to your goals or further away from them. By the end of the day, dozens of decisions have influenced your direction. Many individuals focus so much on distant goals that they overlook the importance of today's behavior. They want better results, but ignore the actions that create those results. They dream about a different future while repeating the same routine that produced their current circumstances. The gap between where they are and where they want to be is often found in their daily choices. One reason daily choices are easy to ignore is because the consequences are rarely immediate. If you delay something important today, your life may look exactly the same tomorrow. If you waste an evening, nothing dramatic happens overnight. Because the impact is delayed, people underestimate its significance. What they fail to see is that every choice is contributing to a larger picture. Imagine making a small improvement every day for a year. The individual actions may seem minor: reading a few pages, exercising for a short period, learning a new skill, saving a small amount of money, practicing discipline in one area of life. None of these actions seem extraordinary, yet over time they create extraordinary results. Progress is often hidden inside ordinary routines. The opposite is also true. Small negative choices repeated consistently create challenges that become increasingly difficult to ignore. Neglecting responsibilities, avoiding growth, and choosing convenience over improvement may not create immediate consequences, but eventually the results appear. The future always reflects the patterns of the present. Many people believe their circumstances control their lives more than their choices do. While circumstances certainly influence opportunities, choices determine responses. Two individuals can face the same challenge and create very different outcomes. One chooses growth, the other chooses avoidance. One looks for solutions, the other focuses only on obstacles. The difference often comes down to decisions made repeatedly over time. Taking your daily choices seriously requires awareness. It requires paying attention to habits that have become automatic. Many behaviors are repeated so often that people stop questioning them. They continue routines simply because they are familiar. Growth begins when you examine whether those routines are helping or hurting your future. There are moments throughout every day when character is revealed. It is revealed when nobody is watching. It is revealed when you have a choice between discipline and convenience. It is revealed when you decide whether to follow through on a commitment. These moments may seem small, but they are often the moments that shape a person's future. Many successful individuals understand something that others overlook. They understand that consistency is more valuable than intensity. A burst of effort may feel productive, but lasting progress usually comes from repeated action. Consistent choices build momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence encourages further action. This cycle strengthens over time. One of the greatest advantages you can develop is learning to think beyond the present moment. Before making a decision, ask yourself a simple question. Where will this choice lead if repeated for months or years? That question brings clarity. It shifts attention away from temporary comfort and toward long-term consequences. For example, when deciding how to spend your free time, consider whether the activity contributes to growth or distraction. When choosing what information to consume, consider whether it expands your understanding or simply fills time. When making financial decisions, consider whether they strengthen or weaken your future position. Thoughtful decisions create better outcomes because they align with larger goals. Another important truth is that self-respect grows through choices. Every time you keep a commitment, you strengthen trust in yourself. Every time you follow through on something important, you reinforce confidence. Every time you choose growth over convenience, you prove that your future matters. These experiences build a stronger sense of personal belief. Many people are waiting for motivation to solve their problems. Motivation can be helpful, but it is often unreliable. Some days you feel energized, other days you do not. Daily choices provide a more dependable path. They allow progress to continue regardless of temporary emotions. They create stability because they are based on commitment rather than mood. There is no such thing as a neutral day. Every day is contributing to something. Every day is either strengthening valuable habits or reinforcing unhelpful ones. Every day is shaping your mindset, your abilities, and your future. This understanding should not create pressure. It should create awareness. It should remind you that your actions carry meaning. Success is rarely the result of luck alone. More often, it is the result of thousands of decisions made over time. Decisions to learn when learning feels difficult. Decisions to remain disciplined when comfort is available. Decisions to stay focused when distractions are everywhere. These choices may seem ordinary, but together they create remarkable outcomes. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously. It begins when you stop treating daily choices as insignificant. It begins when you recognize that every decision is helping create the person you will become. It begins when you understand that your future is not determined by one dramatic moment, but by countless small actions repeated consistently. Take your daily choices seriously because they are writing the story of your life. They are shaping your opportunities. They are influencing your confidence. They are determining your direction. Every choice matters more than it appears. Make decisions that your future self will appreciate. Make decisions that align with your goals. Make decisions that reflect the person you want to become. When you do that consistently, success stops being a distant possibility and starts becoming the natural result of how you choose to live each day. Chapter 9. Start becoming the person you need. One of the greatest mistakes people make is spending too much time wishing for a better life while spending too little time becoming the person capable of creating it. Many people focus on the outcome they want. They want more success. They want more confidence. They want more financial freedom. They want stronger relationships. They want greater opportunities. There is nothing wrong with wanting those things. The problem begins when a person becomes obsessed with results while ignoring the personal growth required to achieve them. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously, and taking yourself seriously means understanding a simple truth. The life you want often requires a version of you that does not fully exist yet. That is not bad news. That is an opportunity. It means growth is possible. It means there are skills to develop, habits to improve, and qualities to strengthen. Many people look at successful individuals and focus on what they have achieved. They see the results, they see the accomplishments, they see the recognition. What they often overlook is the person those individuals had to become along the way. Success is rarely just about reaching a destination. It is about personal transformation. Imagine a person who wants financial stability but avoids learning about money. Imagine someone who wants leadership opportunities but refuses to improve communication skills. Imagine a person who wants excellent health but neglects daily habits. In each case, the desired outcome requires personal growth. The future they want demands a stronger version of themselves. This is where many people become frustrated. They want different results while remaining exactly the same. They want improvement without change. They want progress without personal development. Life does not usually operate that way. New opportunities often require new levels of discipline, responsibility, knowledge, and character. One of the most important questions you can ask yourself is this: who do I need to become in order to create the future I want? That question shifts your focus away from circumstances and toward personal growth. It encourages self-reflection, it encourages responsibility, most importantly, it encourages action. Perhaps you need to become more disciplined, perhaps you need to become more patient, perhaps you need to become someone who follows through on commitments. Maybe you need stronger communication skills. Maybe you need greater emotional control. Maybe you need to learn how to manage your time more effectively. Every meaningful goal usually reveals an area where growth is required. Many individuals spend years searching for external solutions while ignoring internal development. They believe the answer is a better job, a different environment, or a new opportunity. Sometimes those things help, but long-term success usually depends on who you become, not simply where you are. Think about challenges you have faced in the past. Chances are you are stronger today because of them. Difficult experiences often teach lessons that comfort never could. They develop resilience. They build wisdom. They reveal strengths you did not know you possessed. Growth often happens when life requires more from you than you thought you could give. One reason people avoid personal growth is because it requires honesty. It requires looking at weaknesses without making excuses. It requires admitting that certain habits are holding you back. It requires accepting that some behaviors need to change. This process can feel uncomfortable, but it is necessary. There is tremendous power in self-awareness. When you understand your strengths, you can build on them. When you understand your weaknesses, you can improve them. Self-awareness allows you to stop drifting and start developing yourself intentionally. Many people wait for confidence before they take action. In reality, confidence is often created through action. Confidence grows when you prove to yourself that you can handle challenges. It grows when you learn new skills. It grows when you continue moving forward despite uncertainty. The person you need to become is not created by waiting. That person is created through experience. Growth also requires patience. You cannot become a stronger version of yourself overnight. Character is developed gradually. Discipline is built through repetition. Wisdom is gained through learning and experience. Every day presents opportunities to improve, but meaningful transformation takes time. Consider how athletes train. They do not become stronger from one workout. They become stronger through consistent effort, repeated over months and years. The same principle applies to personal development. Small improvements practiced consistently create significant changes over time. Another important lesson is that growth requires responsibility. No one else can develop your character for you. No one else can strengthen your mindset. No one else can build your discipline. Others may guide you, encourage you, and support you, but the work itself belongs to you. There will be moments when growth feels difficult. There will be days when progress seems slow. There will be times when you question whether your efforts are making a difference. Those moments are normal. Every person pursuing meaningful improvement experiences them. What matters is continuing forward. Many individuals underestimate what can happen when they commit to becoming better every day. They focus on how far they still need to go, instead of appreciating how much progress they have already made. Growth is not measured only by achievements. It is measured by the person you are becoming along the journey. Imagine the version of yourself you want to be 5 years from now. Imagine how that person thinks. Imagine how that person handles challenges. Imagine how that person manages time, relationships, finances, and responsibilities. Now begin building those qualities today. The future version of you is created through present actions. One of the most rewarding aspects of personal growth is that it changes how you see yourself. As you develop new skills and stronger habits, your confidence increases, your self-respect grows. You begin trusting yourself more because you have evidence that you can improve and adapt. Success is not simply about reaching goals, it is about becoming someone capable of achieving and sustaining those goals. Without personal growth, success often remains temporary. With personal growth, success becomes more sustainable because it is supported by character and capability. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously. It begins when you stop wishing for a different life and start becoming the person who can create that life. It begins when you accept that your future depends not only on what you want, but also on who you are becoming. Every day gives you a chance to grow. Every challenge gives you an opportunity to learn. Every decision gives you a chance to strengthen your character. Start becoming the person you need. Develop the habits, skills, and mindset that your future requires. The life you want is not waiting for luck. It is waiting for the version of you that is willing to grow into it. That journey begins the moment you commit to becoming better than you were yesterday. Chapter 10. Prove your goals. Matter through action. At the end of the day, life does not respond to intentions. Life responds to actions. Many people have good intentions. They want to improve their health. They want to become financially secure. They want to build a better future for their family. They want to develop new skills. They want to become more confident and more successful. Wanting these things is important, but wanting alone is never enough. Success begins the day you take yourself seriously, and one of the clearest ways to take yourself seriously is to prove that your goals matter through action. There is a significant difference between being interested in a goal and being committed to it. When you are interested in something, you pursue it when it is convenient. You work on it when you feel motivated. You focus on it when conditions are favorable. Commitment operates differently. Commitment continues even when enthusiasm fades. Commitment remains steady when progress feels slow. Commitment keeps moving when distractions appear. Many people confuse desire with dedication. They assume that because they want something badly, they are automatically moving toward it. But desire without action creates frustration. It creates a gap between what you hope for and what you experience. That gap becomes larger every time you postpone the work required to achieve your goals. One of the most honest ways to evaluate your priorities is to look at your behavior. Your actions reveal what truly matters to you. If something is important, it receives your attention. It receives your time. It receives your effort. People often say they value certain goals, but their daily routines tell a different story. The truth can usually be found in how time is spent and where energy is invested. Imagine a person who says that improving their future is their highest priority, yet they rarely learn new skills. They avoid difficult responsibilities. They spend hours on distractions while neglecting meaningful work. Their words may sound convincing, but their behavior tells the real story. Action always speaks more clearly than intention. This is why goals must be supported by consistent behavior. A goal is not something you simply think about. It is something you build. Every achievement begins as an idea, but it becomes reality only when effort is applied repeatedly over time. The dream may inspire you, but the work creates results. Many individuals spend years collecting information. They read books, they watch videos, they attend seminars, they learn valuable lessons. Learning is important, but knowledge alone does not transform lives. Information becomes valuable only when it influences behavior. The person who applies one lesson often moves further ahead than the person who studies hundreds without taking action. One reason people avoid action is because action creates accountability. Once you begin, you can no longer hide behind potential. Once you begin, results become visible, effort becomes measurable, progress can be evaluated honestly. Some people stay in the planning stage because it feels safer than facing reality. Yet growth only occurs when ideas are tested through action. There will never be a perfect moment to begin. Conditions will never be completely ideal. There will always be challenges, uncertainties, and reasons to wait. The people who achieve meaningful success understand that action cannot depend entirely on circumstances. They move forward despite imperfections. Think about the goals that matter most to you right now. Ask yourself a simple question: what evidence exists?